All right. Number one, thank you for this opportunity to share. All right, our subject today is really four golden keys to success in the great discovery. And I wanted to do this training because, we have so much technical stuff in the great discovery. Let me see if I can make my screen bigger. So, four keys to success in the great discovery. Just a brief introduction. I'm a retired attorney, former director of the Science of Living Institute, and that was the teaching division of the famous televangelist, um, one of the early, what do you call him, TV ministers, Reverend Ike, also CEO of the Life Skill Institute, and a master transformational trainer, network marketing expert. And I'm going to segue on that. Down on the picture on the right, you see Eric Worre. He and I, can you imagine? We were both starting out distributors in another company. It was the water filter business. And we all cut our teeth on that. And I think all of us made our first big money. And we then went from that company, that was NSA, the water filter business back in the late 80s. And we all went from that company to many other companies. And I think all of us who came through that training excelled in pretty much any company we met, we got involved with. There's my Montel Williams. We worked together in a anti-aging program 15 years ago. Montel and I were like, he was the spokesperson for the company, and I was one of the master trainers. We're still there. And, one of the beauties of network marketing, if you build it right, you can get income for years and years. And so that was 15 years ago, and checks still come. And $1 million earner. And just simply means that over the years, we've been able to make $1 million and more in this industry. Stedman Graham, one of my good friends and family members, written a number of books, including the How to Make Money in Music, the 12 Golden Rules for Success, and the 12 Universal Laws of Success. You're going to hear a little bit more about that. Our books have been translated into many languages, including Chinese, Italian, French, Romanian, and Spanish. And that was one of the reasons I got involved with the Great Discovery. Our books have been selling around the world, and we never had a platform, a way that we could support those books in different countries. And so when I saw the Great Discovery, I'm like, aha, this is a way to get a powerful message out to a worldwide audience. So the question always arises, what does it take to be successful in the Great Discovery? And the four golden keys are this. We call it the four F's. You've got to be self-responsible. In other words, whatever it is you have to take charge of your business, take the weight, take the responsibility, and take the win. You must be self-motivated. You got to ring your own bell. You have to be self-determined, meaning you got to say, hey, only success, and you have to be self-functional. So now let's look. Self-responsible is really about decision time. There are many of us who get started in this business. We may come in, I call it like the toe touch approach. Let me stick my toe in and see how it is. Hey, see how it's going to work out. Well, guess what? If you stick your toe in to see how it's going to work out, you generally get toe type success. So when you come into this business, it's important to make a decision that you're going to be serious about it, that you're going to work at it. And my mantra is, if it's to be, it's up to me. We have great products, we have great programs, but you and I are the common element in success. So self-responsible, take it upon yourself to be successful and to do whatever it takes to be successful. You always bring yourself to the party. And that means this. The thoughts, if you have negative thoughts, thoughts of limitation, and thoughts of all the reasons something does not work, guess what? It's not going to work. Emotions, if you have a fear of rejection, Yeah, and you see, one of the things about network marketing, it brings these type of things out. If you have a fear of rejection, you don't want to hear no, then you probably will not be successful. If you have bad habits, you're not organized, you're not timely, you don't follow through, that will probably undermine your success. And if you're surrounded by people who don't believe in you, who have nothing to do but criticize and tell you all the reasons that something won't work, that will sink it. One of the things I learned about Amway, I tried Amway 4 times, and my track record is I can remember being in 18 different businesses, and of the 18, 4 of them were successful. We made millions of dollars, and the others, we we made friends and went exciting places. Okay, we'll put it like that. But one of the things we learned from Amway was that it wasn't about the products. You think about it, Amway was selling soap. Exciting can that be? But it was about the personal development. It was about the journey. And so when we look at the great discovery, your success in this business really depends on you, the thoughts that you have, the emotions that you have, your habits and your relationships. And everything is built on that. All of the features, all the benefits, all the incredible products are filtered through your thoughts, through your emotions, through your habits, and through your relationships. And so therefore you are a critical part of this success. And so when we say I take charge, that's a critical part, one of the great golden keys for success. Now, self-motivated, that's the second key. You have to ring your own bell. One of the things about being an entrepreneur as opposed to having a job is that nobody wakes you up. Nobody calls you. Nobody says, hey, do you think it's a good time? You feel like coming in today? No. Uh-uh. And if you don't follow the rules, you won't have a job. When you're an entrepreneur, you have to motivate yourself. You have to use positive affirmations. And that's why this personal development is so critical to success, because there will be bumps in the road. There will be times when stuff doesn't work, when people don't show up. And so those positive affirmations, I can do it. My dream is real. I can accomplish anything. I am the greatest. I'm the most successful. All of those things that pump you up and make you feel great about yourself. Akia Haim was talking about the attitude adjuster. Anyway, the Dr. Stan Breakthrough had the attitude adjuster, which was it was like one of those things that got you prepared to get up, get rolling, and get doing stuff. Now let's look at self-determination. One of the key things about this business is your why. Why are you doing this business? What will this business do for you? What will the great discovery, how will it change your life? How will it impact your dreams? How will it impact the vision you have of yourself and the way you'd like to live? How will it impact the goals that you would like to accomplish? And you see, this why is critical. And it's time, one of the trainings that we do is to really help you hone in on your why. What's the vision of your life if you achieve success in the great discovery? What dreams will manifest in your life if you achieve success in the great discovery? Or you can ask the negative, what won't happen? If you have a job and your take-home pay doesn't hardly get you home, and you're looking at the great discovery as this business, starting off as a part-time business to help, literally, if I can do it part-time and over the next year or two, if I can do this business part-time so that I'm making full-time income, then I might be free of my job. Maybe I work it another year and now I've made so much money, I can feel secure in leaving my job and becoming a full-time entrepreneur. So your why is critical. That's what will keep you in the program when people disappoint you, when you just run into a patch of folks who are committed to being broke. Anytime you have an opportunity, there's a reason why 95% of the people in the world are either broke or nearly broke. You know, the 5%ers are those people who really achieve financial independence. And the difference is determination and having a goal and a vision and working at it. Now, the fourth golden key is to be self-functional. And that says this is a business. It's not a hobby. It's not an activity. It's a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it will reward you like a hobby. It will cost you money. If you treat it like an activity, it will reward you like an activity. You'll have fun. But if you treat it like a business, you can transform your life. And this business requires a mindset, a business mindset, and a skill set, and a method of operation. One of the interesting things about the Great Discovery, and really about network marketing in general, is until you see it as a business, it can be part-time, it can be full-time, but it can't be sometime. The moment you put that business paradigm on your approach to your Great Discovery business, everything changes. It's also a numbers program. We'll share that in a minute. But there are 7 basic skills that you must learn, practice, and master. When you learn, practice, and master these basic skills, success is a very natural result. You also want to focus on IPAs. Joyce is one of our early affiliates. We got started in the Great Discovery around the same time. And she always talked about IPAs, income producing activities. If it doesn't produce income, you may not want to do it. Bill Britt was one of the greats in the industry of network marketing. And one of the things that he was interviewed one time, and they asked him a question just to give you the impact and the scope of his business. When he made his transition, his residual income to his estate, to his family, was about $6 million a year. Okay. And so they asked him, how did you build such an incredible organization? And he said this, I did 1,200 presentations. And a presentation is, it's like what Tim does on Tuesday night or Thursday night. It's an overview of the entire business, showing each and every aspect of the company, the products, the marketing plan, and the overall system of how it works. He said he did 1,200 presentations. Now, this was over a period of about 10 years, so it didn't happen overnight. But of 1,200 presentations, 900 people said no, they're not interested. But 300 people said yes. And so that's what, 1 out of 4? And so when you look at building your Great Discovery business, everybody's not going to say yes. If you can get 1 out of 4, you're doing great. Because that's kind of the industry-wide statistics. 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5. If you talk to 5 people, chances are at least one of them will be interested in what you're talking to them about. Of the 300 people who said yes, 85 of them did a little. And this is a unique perspective here. In other words, of the 300 people who signed up and invested money in their business, who said they want to become an entrepreneur, 215 of them went into witness protection. Mm-hmm. And so that means many times people can come into your business and they don't see the vision. Their why's not big enough, but don't let them pull you off. Don't let them pull you aside, because you have a why, you have a business. Of the 300 who said yes, 85 of them did a little bit. And a little bit is defined, they made $1,000, $2,000 a month. It was enough to stay in there, pay for being in the business, and you get to take trips once or twice a year, and you meet great people. I'm happy for them. The business is built on those 85 people who do a little bit every month because they're happy with what they're getting. But then he said 35 of them did a lot. They got to that 6-figure level, $8,000, $10,000 a month and more. But then he said 11 of them made him a millionaire. And I'm just dwelling on this for a moment because very often people will start in our business and they'll talk to four people. And first they talk to them without being properly trained. And four people say no, and they go like, this thing doesn't work. No, it's all about the numbers. You have to talk to enough people to let the law of averages work on your behalf. Let's talk about income producing activities. If it doesn't lead to a new customer, a new presentation, or a new teammate, it is not an income producing activity. It's just something you're doing. Income producing activities are activities that lead directly to income. Traditionally, it's inviting people, following up, sharing presentations, and closing the deal. You do those four things, those are four power skills. You do those four things consistently, you'll make tons of money. Now that we have introduced AI into the program, and I really take my hat off to the AI foundation on which a lot of the great discovery is laid out now. This prospect targeting, automated follow-up, funnels, content creation. AI now gives us a much more effective way to do the same thing we used to do before: invite, follow up, present, and close the deal. The key question is, does it help share, connect, or convert? If it doesn't do any of those things, it's not an IPA. Activity versus productivity. Most of us have some other job or some other profession. I'm a co-minister at a church. I run another company. I'm a caregiver, and I'm guaranteed that each of you listening tonight or who will listen to this training have the same issues. You got families, you got school, you got all kinds of things you're doing. But it's a common mistake to confuse busy work with productive work. Charles Fillmore, one of the early New Thought writers, said, divine ideas do not work unless you work them. And so you get results when you have intentional action based on income producing activities. So what are some of the core income producing activities? IPA number one is prospecting. Who is your target market? There's no product that appeals to everybody. The companies that make the most money are those who identify their target market. You know, Amazon grew from a target market of readers. You know, Amazon started out as strictly books, and their thought was, let me bring books to the world. Let me bring information to the world. And so they had a clear niche. They wanted people who would normally go to bookstores, people who would normally go to libraries, and all of their efforts were targeted in that area. And so when you begin to market the great discovery, who are your target market? Well, definitely authors, because now you can get your books in different languages in different countries in real time. Trainers and coaches, those who have courses and other digital products, these are target market people. And so once you get your target market, traditionally, you do the business with a daily contact list, the number of people that you reach out to each day, your personal outreach, people you know, as you say, every company says, make a list of 100 people, your social media interactions. But now we've taken the game to another level. With artificial intelligence, we can have lead generation through funnels. We have an incredible funneling system where people get that free book. They pop up in your back office. Now you're right back into the basic. Now you need to reach out to them. You need to invite them to learn more. You need to follow up. You need to let them see the plan based on your follow-up. But these AI tools are powerful in generating leads, funnels, and smart targeting so that you can go exactly to people who are looking for what you have. Income producing activity number two, inviting. Traditionally, you invite 3 to 5 people daily to take a look. at your program. That doesn't mean I'm trying to sell you something. It may, and we often teach, we've sort of gotten away from it, but your demo that shows you that little 90-second demo that shows you talking in 5 different languages, a powerful tool. When you say to a person, hey, take a look at my 90-second video and tell me what you like about it. What that does is it takes all of our technology and breaks it down to something a person can see. They like, I know you don't speak 5 languages, and here I see you speaking French, Italian. My goodness, I'm interested. And then when you ask them, do you want more information? They say, of course, yes. So this idea of inviting is like, don't sell, don't overwhelm, but give people an opportunity to see something that gets their interest. With AI, the AI funnels can help take that on steroids, and some of the scripts that they've developed and the automated follow-up. The moment a person comes into that funnel, they start getting a series of emails every 3 days, every 6 days, and literally doing what you would normally do in following up. But you still have to reach out and make that personal connection. That's where you make the transition in the inviting piece. Presenting. Presenting is the idea of showing the plan. This is really that point. You want to get a client, a customer, a potential prospect to the point where they can see the big picture, the company, the products, the marketing plan, all those aspects of it that make sense. We have some powerful stuff in your website. When you go to the archives, you have numerous presentations. Tuesday night, course creator presentations. Thursday night, affiliate presentations. So all you really have to do is say, hey, my name is Herb, man. Take a look at my demo video. Tell me what you like about it. Wow, yeah, very interesting. Would you like more information? Yes. Well, then take one of those videos out of your office, out of your website, and get on your Zoom. Even better, go down and take your computer, sit in their living room and click it and watch that presentation with them. The Zoom, the videos, the one-on-ones, that's the core, because the presentation is that you might say that breakthrough. Once a person is seeing a presentation, one, they're interesting to be there long enough to see one, and two, they got all the information. AI now can enhance those slide decks and have evergreen presentations. That's what you have on your website. So you don't have to wait for a Tuesday or Thursday night meeting. You can say, hey, I'm going to show one person this presentation every day. You do that for 5 days, I guarantee you're going to get at least 1, maybe 2 people in the business. The fourth income producing activity, follow up. The 3-way calls. That whole CRM system is powerful, so you can keep track of people, so that when you talk to somebody, you get back to them within 48 hours, the 48-hour rule. After 48 hours, people forget what it was and forget who you are. But this follow-up is a skill set that you can learn, practice, and master with the text, with emails. But whatever you do, consistently follow up. You'll always hear this. The fortune is in the follow-up. The AI platform we has automated follow-up with the funnel. But once again, you have to interface with that AI to put a human face to it. Then finally, the fifth IPA is closing and training. You already asked for the sale. After a person has looked at a presentation, you ask them, what did you like about it most? And then they start telling you, anything else you like about it, this, that, and the other. And, have you given any thought to how it might really fit in with what you're doing as an author, as a coach, as a course creator, as a digital consultant? Yeah, I was thinking A, B, C, and D. Well, then you come back with a closing question. Sounds like Great Discovery is a good fit, doesn't it? Yeah. Let me show you how to get started. Right there, you're into the program to enrolling them. AI can help on board with funnels. When they go through our funnels, there's a place where people can actually enroll as an affiliate. They have checklists, chat bots, but all of these things help you expose more and more people to the program. So my daily IPA formula, I call it the 361. 3 new contacts a day, which you can meet through social media. You can meet through your funnel system. 6 follow-ups, because you're going to always have, people left over from previous days to follow up, and 1 presentation. Now, if you do this every day, it's impossible not to make big money in this industry with this company. If you're doing a presentation every day, then the statistics say you're going to get between 1 and 2 people every week into your program. You get 1 and 2 people to 2 people a week. That's somewhere between 4 and 8 new enrollments every month. If you do that, you can go straight to the bank. That's life-changing money. But I say this, many of us are part-time. So let this be the bottom line. Every week, this is the slow man's path to riches. Every week, meet at least 3 people. Every week, do at least 6 follow-ups. Every week, do 1 presentation. That's 4 presentations a month. Chances are you do 4 presentations in a month, you're going to get 1 person in the business. So anywhere from 1 a day to 1 a week, but the point is to do it systematically. So let's just review now. The 4 golden keys, the 4 selves. Self-responsible. You got to take charge of your business, which really means you got to take charge of your life. Self-motivated. You have to be able to pick yourself up each and every day, because that daily motivation will help you create momentum. Self-determined. You have to have a big why. Keep your eye on the prize so that nothing can stop you. And then that 4th key, self-functional. Master the skill set required for success. So my final call to action is this. To be more successful in your great discovery, number 1, work on you. You bring yourself to the party, so work on you. And one of the things that I'm doing, and I'm inviting you to participate, is on October the 25th, I'm doing a workshop called Making the 12 Universal Laws of Success Work for You. Now, the 12 Universal Laws of Success is my book. We've done over 800,000 copies. And it's been a primer, a Bible for many network marketing companies. I remember Market America bought 25,000 copies because they knew how important it was to help a person have the structured approach on which they could build a business. So Saturday, October 25th, we're having a workshop called Making the 12 Universal Laws of Success Work for You, from 11 a.m. to 3:30, 4.5 hours. You can register at www.successlessons.net. But let me tell you a little more. Making the 12 Universal Laws of Success work for you, that Saturday the 25th, it's a $97 investment. I don't think you can make it any cheaper for a 4.5 hour webinar, interactive webinar. It covers the 12 universal laws of success and how to use these laws to transform your life and your business. Things like the law of thought. You become what you think about most of the time. So once you become in the business, start develop a business mindset. The law of change, that you can change your life by changing your thinking. So if there are things in your life that are incompatible with success in your business, you have the power to change it. The law of vision, which is absolutely critical, because you cannot have a why unless you can see it. And what you see clearly in your thoughts is what you get in your life. The law of focus and discipline, so that you can create that daily rhythm, that weekly rhythm where you keep your eye on the prize and you work at it consistently. Or the 7th law, the law of action, which helps you lay out an action plan, a daily action plan to live your life and conduct your business. These are just some of the little tidbits that we'll be going over in that 4.5 hour seminar. In addition, you get a workbook to download. And the workbook now gives you might say, puts meat on the bones. This will become your Bible as you develop your personal success and your business success. You also receive certification, and it's a prerequisite. I want to use the Great Discovery as a train-the-trainer program and develop a team of trainers who will teach this seminar, this transformational seminars and others based on the book throughout the country and the world. So the Great Discovery is a perfect platform for that. So we're looking for people also who say, hey, I want to teach and I want to impact the world. We have a tool to do it. So you receive certification. It's also a prerequisite for our long-term train the trainer program, and will help us develop a team of trainers who are doing seminars and webinars throughout the United States and throughout the world. So tonight, if you enroll right away, we'll have the link in the chat. If you make that step and say, hey, I want to do this, I want to send you something special. I was trying to figure out how to do a discount, but I hadn't quite figured that out yet. But I thought something would be more powerful. Anybody who enrolls tonight, I'm going to send you a free 12 affirmations, 12 universal laws of success audio seminar. It's a 54-minute seminar that I did in Detroit, but that will give you instant power and instant activity that can start to impact your life and your business as you prepare for the webinar on the 25th. So, final call to action: invest 97 tonight in your success. Enroll in the webinar. You can click on, we'll put the link in the chat, or you can also go to www.teachandgrowrich.info, and that will take you exactly where you need to go to get started. So work on your personal development. Identify your top 3 income-producing activities. Block time daily for focused action. Automate as much as you can, and the results will come through actions and consistency. And our final thought is this: I focus on what grows my business. I take inspired action daily, and every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Thank you so much. I hope this is a blessing. I hope this will help you become a better you and have an incredibly more successful business. All
That
right.
was amazing.
Oh, you all are such a great audience.
That was fantastic. I learned so much. If we have any questions, we're going to take questions. Please raise your hand so we can get through everybody. But you caught me right in the beginning, because this is one of the things that I talk about a lot. And I love that you said this, to how to treat this like a business. It is a business. It's not I'm just going to do this like a little bit and then expect the money to flow in. I need to respect this and treat it like a business, have the mindset, have the skill set, and really push forward with it. That was like the first thing that really struck me about what you said. And I was like, I think people miss that a lot when they're getting started in things.
Absolutely, Bree. And it's amazing that that happens, because when people can really see it as a business, it makes all the difference. The moment they go from hobby to business, it's amazing how the change shifts in their life. I'm just putting this is an academy course on the Great Discovery, so you get your discounts and all that, and I just posted the link there. But that business mindset is critical and makes all the difference.
It really does. We got some questions. I want to get to those.
Sure.
Daniel, go ahead. What's your question?
Well, it's more of a thank you. And this is a blessing. You have a lot of golden nuggets in there. Like, I would like to see the slides if you'd be willing to share some of these, because I think one of the things I heard that really tripped my trigger was you can be full-time, you can be part-time, you just can't be sometime.
Yes, yes.
And that really, that and who you're surrounding yourself with, and careful of the people that love you so much they're going to tell you why not to bother. And and it, building your contact list is music to my ears, because that's what my company helps people do. And
Yes.
so validating it through you is like, well, don't believe anything I have to say. Just talk with Herbert Harris, Dr. Herbert Harris, and he'll tell you what you need to get done, and then you'll sign up and get my course. Like, this, I don't know what I was expecting tonight. It was not this, and this was great. Thank you. I'm done talking.
Thanks, Daniel. And let me tell you, your course is amazing. And I'm going to be one of those. I'm getting the free course because I want to get into it. I took heavy notes when you spoke the other day, and I'm like, man, I didn't know you could do that. Thank you, my friend. Yes.
Half
Thanks,
of it's
Daniel.
about the mindset of what these things can do for you, is that if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're probably correct as well.
Thanks.
Love that. All right, Gregory Todd. Good to see you, my friend. And Clara, I see you over there. I'll get to you next. Go ahead, Gregory.
Okay. Mhm.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harris, and thank you, Bree, for allowing me to ask my question. Great information, Dr. Harris, as usual. I see why they call you the great encourager. My question is on your title, 12 Universal Laws of Success. Number one, how did you come about that title, and is it through your personal trials and tribulations?
Every one of them has a scar. Greg, it started out 10 laws. And because I was really, I was thinking the 10 Commandments, I like to do the numbers thing. But when I had completed the 10, it just didn't feel complete. It just did not feel complete. And I had to go back and make some changes. And one of the laws, I'll tell you, one law that I had left out was the law of relationships. I was so focused on, the nuts and bolts, but that soft skill of relationships, man, that can sink your boat more than anything else. You could be selling dollar bills for 50 cents, and you get the wrong people around you and they'll convince you not to do it. Okay. So that was when I had to go back. And then the 12th law, that law of truth, because I really labored on it. You always, when you write a book, you always want to feel it's complete. It's like you're birthing a child and want to make sure all the organs are there. And so I'm there looking, it's like there's something missing. And then the law, that scripture came, know the truth, and truth will set you free. And the truth is that everything operates by law. It's not by circumstance. That everything operates by law, and it's all put together in a very consistent fashion. And when you follow the steps, you get predictable results. And so it started with 10, it evolved to 12, but I didn't start out to write a book. I started out to teach a course. And I'll just tell a quick short story just because it's instructive. Sometimes an idea will come to you and you don't act on it. I was in my meditation in New York, and an idea came to me and says, hey, you should be teaching a class. I love teaching. I go out jogging that morning. I run into Dr. Mattie Cook, who was the president of Malcolm King College. So I said, Dr. Cook, I said, I'd love to teach a course at your college. She said, wow, what's the name of the course? I hadn't even thought about it. And so I said, achievement motivation. And she said, I love it. Beautiful. Can you be in my office this afternoon? Now at that time I was practicing law. My law office was in the same building. So I got there at 4 o'clock that afternoon. She said, can you start Monday? So oh, wow. Sometimes when you speak your world into existence, when you believe it in your heart, time doesn't matter. Okay. I started preparing for the class and I realized that it was junior college. A lot of those students are not going to read a Think and Grow Rich. They're not going to read some of the real traditional success books. And so this book started as a set of notes that I put together for teaching that course.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You're quite welcome, my friend.
That was a great question and an amazing answer. I loved it. All right. Miss Clara.
Yes, Dr. Harris, good seeing you again. I have thoroughly enjoyed everything that you said, And you spoke about a system that you put into place and that we as marketers should put into place, which reminded me of a system I came up with when I started in the insurance industry. And my first insurance company was Mutual of Omaha. And I was living in Atlanta, working through one of the Atlanta offices, and the company would send leads to the office that you were associated with, and these leads were obviously passed out to the agents. I, being one of them, got some of the leads, and so being a newbie, I got a lead, and in one of the leads, I was headed to a person's house who had requested some insurance, and on the way over, all I could think about was the commission. That's the only thing I could think about. Mutual was giving us new agents a stipend, but it was mostly, would cover your gas and maybe a little bit of food and stuff like that. But it didn't cover rent and all those essentials. And my youngest daughter, was still in school, looking to college and all this kind of stuff. So money was the top thing in my mind. I was thinking commission. And when I got there, when we sat down, I did not get into any conversation or any chat or anything. Just went for the kill, so to speak. What do you need? What can I, let's do this, da 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 da. To make a long story short, I walked away with no sale. And on the way back to the office, I was devastated. I'm thinking, I needed money for da 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 da. All I was thinking about was what I needed. And so when I got back to the office, I was chatting with the manager there, and he said, "Well, what did you do?" And I said, he says, the most important thing that you need to do in this business is build relationships. Build relationships. That was one powerful lesson. So from then on, my first thing was to build relationships, and I learned how to do that, and I did it very well. In so well, in fact, I became one of the top 20 people for the year and was featured in the annual review. But it was quite a lesson. Then the second thing that you mentioned that I want to piggyback on is a system that you said you put into place. You had so many people that you would speak to each day and out of it each week, and out of you would set appointments and you would go on and you would close a sale. I did the same thing. Once I was in the industry for about, I guess, 3, 4, 5 years. Once I would leave a client's house, I went in as a prospect, left, then they were as a client. I would drive along and pay attention to the streets that I was passing. So I'm driving with my left hand on the wheel, my right hand is over in the passenger seat, writing, and I wasn't looking there, but just with mentally, writing the name of the street down. Get back to the office, look in the city directory, pull up the name of that street, get the names of every person on the street, send out 15 postcards. This was done on a Thursday. Then on a Sunday evening, I would sit down and call these people. I would make 10 appointments out of those 15 cards sent. I would actually keep 5 appointments because 5 would cancel. Out of those 5, I would make 1 to 2 sales. And I did that consistently. And at that time, this was back in the early 80s, late 80s, early 90s. Out of those 2 sales would give me my $1,000 a week income. That
Hmm.
was my system. And as
Wow.
you're speaking, I thought about that. I thought, wow, he's saying what I actually did when I was selling insurance.
Yes.
And so thank you for that. Thank you
Thank-
for that reminder. And
Yes.
it's amazing how a system you put in place for one entity can work in another.
Well,
So I just wanted
great.
to share that.
Thank you so much. Well, the insurance is the best training ground of them all. I mean,
You said
I,
it.
from the A.L. Williams days,
Yes, I was with A.L. Williams too.
yeah, from those
Yes.
days, and then when after I'd been so unsuccessful at network marketing, I was doing a company called the Bahamian Diet with
Mm-hmm.
Dick Gregory. And that company, he said, you guys need to go down. The fellow that taught was the training director. He was the guy that did the napkin presentation. He'd passed now. But anyway, he said, you need to go and take a class with a guy named Tom Hopkins. Okay. Dan, Tom Hopkins, and like $1,500. I'm like, you must be crazy. But Tom was like the number one trainer for real estate and insurance. When you came through Tom Hopkins, you come out of there, you ready. You ready. And
Yes,
all that
yes,
was in there. And so insurance is like they formalized it, they standardized it. And if we just take those same principles and use them in this business, phew, explosion.
yes,
So
yes.
thank you, dear. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Wow. Great questions, great stories. Everybody's sharing so much tonight. This was such a power-packed like episode tonight. I'm like blown away by everything. I cannot thank you enough. You have to come back and do more with us. I want to hear more about how the webinar goes, because I saw Raymond said he's like, I'm in, I'm doing it. That's fantastic. We love it, Raymond. I love hearing that. We've got exciting things coming up tonight. Kathy Lawson is here. We're going to be doing our course spotlight coming up next. But before
Yes.
we get to that, I want to do a couple quick reminders that we do have our promo code. If you want to be a creator on the platform, you can use our promo code to save $100. It is Creator 100, all capital letters. You can use that at checkout to save $100. That is valid through October 15th. So get out there, share, do that 361 and let people know, because that's such a good deal. We want to get people in as much as possible for that. We love it when everybody can save some money, and this is the right time of year to be saving a little of those extra dollars that we have in our pocket. And then Dr. Harris, you also have Saturday morning. So tell us a little bit about Saturday morning so people know where they can find you.
Yes, on Saturday mornings we do the Success Mentorship Mastermind session, and we promote it on the company website. It's listed on the calendar, 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. You can direct link to it, www.12uls, the number 12, then uls.org. And that's 8 o'clock. We have I speak, we have other speakers, and then we have powerful discussion groups. So we'd love to have you join in, www.12uls.org. And I see Joyce Christie had a hand. I'll put that in the chat too.
Yeah, go ahead, Joyce.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Harris. Exciting as usual. And I was going to bring up the mastermind group because I was going to say that is IPA,
Yes,
income producing activity.
activity. Yes,
So
it is.
mindset is important. So I'm looking at the time. I don't think you have the time right now, but
Yeah.
give me a 1 minute if you can on what's a mindset that would be best, that's connected to the 12 universal laws that we can utilize here at TDG.
Exactly. And a mindset is a frame of reference from which you look at the world. It's in a simplistic fashion. It's, do you see the world as a world that's half empty and that there's never enough? Or do you see the world as half filled, that says, oh, there's always more to come? That mindset opens you up and makes you aware of all the possibilities. And it comes from observation and intention. And so when you put that frame of reference, how I look at the world now, so I look at it as a business mindset. I look at it as a growth mindset. That is a key in a simplistic, quickly defined fashion.
Dr. Harris, real quick, the 12uls.org link, is that the registration link for your October 25th workshop?
No. That's for the Saturday morning. The link for the October workshop is in there, and I'll put it in here again. I put the
Okay, because I
easy,
went to chat, I didn't see it in there.
yeah, the easy link is www. Okay. And, I put that. That's just a short link I put there, and then let me see if I can put the direct. That short link takes you to the company link, which
Oh,
is this one.
teachandgrowrich.info?
Yeah, and then there's the
Okay,
direct link into the Great Discovery website. I just put the full uh, web address in there. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, we have time for one more question. Daniel, go ahead.
Well, I just want to reflect on the part where you were talking about being in relationship and the woman who talked about not really asking those questions.
Yes.
You know, here's a perfect example. I did a presentation on Saturday. You actually saw it and knew who I was. I was trying to catch your attention here. So that's kind of funny how these things work out, that if you just show up and have a good time and be intentional, then maybe some good things can happen. And to that end, Dr. Harris, I put my link in my calendar in the chat in case you wouldn't find a time. I'd love to sit down and talk with you. Thank you.
All right.
You too,
Beautiful.
Bree. And
Thank you.
anyone else?
Thank you
love
so
it.
much. All
Well,
right.
thanks, Dr. Harris. I appreciate it so much. We'll let you go. I know we have some exciting things coming up with our course creator spotlight tonight. So I'm actually going to bring, I am going to bring Kathy Lawson up.